Hey everybody, my name is Eric. I'm making a game. It's called the Godkiller. It's a puzzle solving game. You solve puzzles. It's 3D. You look at it from a top down angle. You fight things. It's a stepper, which means that the whole game pauses until you issue a move, and then everything updates at the same time in one step. Like, if somebody was sneaking up behind me and I'm not moving, even if they're running at me, like if you could see behind me, imagine there was somebody who was running towards me. They'd be paused in place right now until I moved. Until I turn around and look at them, and then they would move. Or jump away, then they would move. They would move one step. If I move one step, they would move one step. So it's like that. There's another game that people might be familiar with called Super Hot, which is a little bit like that, I suppose. It's not quite the same thing. The best example is another game I made called Drod. It sounds kind of stupid to say, the best example of this type of game is another game I made, but there just haven't been that many games that followed this kind of interface. There's also Gustavo Duarte's Wonder Quest, and there's let's see, there's the old ancient one off of mainframes and stuff, Daleks, aka Chase, aka Robots. Is that one? What else? There's Crypt of the Necrodancer, but only one mode in it, the Bard mode. If you select the Bard, it'll be a stepping game. Everything will move after you move instead of time to the beat. Then that same company made a different game. It was like a Zelda themed game along the same lines. Anyways, there are stepping games. There's just not a lot of them. There's probably like a 3-digit number of all the stepping games that were ever made. Ever. It's not thousands. It might be tens. But it's a good kind of game. I like games like that. A stepping game is not the same thing as a turn-based game. A turn-based game like Civilization, you figure out what actions you'd like to enact in the coming turn, and you plan different things, and then you press a next turn button, and it goes, and then you see maybe the reacting turns enacted for your opponents. That's like a turn-based game. And a stepping game is maybe in the same family as turn-based, but it's more specific. You issue a command and instantly the world updates. Okay, so let's demo what happened yesterday, what I got done. This is just a very, very drab and boring test level. It's actually called Delete Me 1. To distinguish it from Delete Me 2, which is another boring, drab level that's only there for test purposes. So there's this yellow box you see, which is an editor-only object, and I use it to define an area of the scene, or the level, if you will, that I want to apply decorations to. And decorations are procedurally generated enhancements that make everything look a little bit better. So this is what it looks like before. We've got very stark lighting right now, so you can't see all the sides very well. Okay, and then I'll make this yellow box all the way around this thing. Then I'll come up here and I'll say decorate the level, and it adds one of my decorations, which is this floor edging. So it does it a random way. So there's some rules for things that must happen in decoration, and other things are kind of optional and random. So a corner piece must be here for the edge, as must a side piece for anything that's not a corner. To make these pieces sort of connect up correctly, there's some manipulations done to them, like certain parts of them are hidden or shown. Then there's, I call them specials, which are random pieces that add a little more variety. Here's one that is the start of a pipe going down. There's another decorator that continues the pipe all the way down to the ground, and I think in this session I'll enable that with a little bit of luck. Let's see, and then there's another type of special where maybe I didn't get it. Maybe I wasn't lucky enough to get it in this decoration with the random number generation and everything. Okay, so let me move this over here. And I'll show you the other part of this. So I can clear decorations in the same way by moving the operation zone over it. So I can do clear decorations, and then what you see is it removed the decorations from half of this block here, following the borders of the operation zone. So if I want to redecorate one side of this, I just go like that. And I can resize this zone to be any dimensions I want, but right now I'm just keeping it mostly the same and just kind of sliding it around. Okay, so then say I want the special to have a much higher likelihood. So here it'll say every opportunity that there is to put that special in, put it in. Let me see what it did this time. It put it in once before. Okay, I'll turn off the wall descenders and I'll try it again. Okay, I might have to troubleshoot that, because I would have thought that it would have gave me a whole bunch of a different type of square there, but I'm not seeing any. Oh, there's one of them. Okay. Oh, I think I remember why now. Okay, so the deal is that there's criteria for it to only appear on even numbered either columns or rows, and so it excluded it. So if I take this, first I'll just clear the level decorations, and then I'll take this guy and move it over one. Let me see if that changes it. Yeah, so that did. So because it's was now in a different even odd boundary, it put the specials on the side, which in this case are just these kind of light things. And when I get the post-processing, I'm forgetting the name of the terms. The rendering that happens in post-processing done, these will have a nice glow around them. They'll look like lights. I just have to re-enable that a little bit later. Okay, so that's what that is. And today I want to add in a couple of other types of decorations. And the code for it is already written. I'm resurrecting it from a different project. So I had an old project that broke. I moved all the source code over, and I'm just kind of slowly, in a bottom-up fashion, going through each element, each thing that was in the old project, and making sure it works. And big surprise, most things do not work. So let me put that down there. And let's set the editor rule differently. It's at 50 and it's at 50. Okay. There. So now I've got these descenders, and what I'll do is I'll add in the code that causes them to render all the way down to the bottom. And actually that code is over there. I could just try it. There's a chance it just works right out of the box. There is a chance. And then I'll have to find something else to do, because that would be too lucky. Okay, so wall descender is enabled, and I got to put these guys in. There it is. Okay. So I'll do 2 with the first type of wall descender and 2 with the second type of wall descender. Okay. In case you're interested, they look like this. And they've got, you know, some variations to them. But, you know, I'm going to leave them alone. You'll see the variations when it renders. Here's number 2. And this one is got a slightly different look to it. Actually, a pretty significantly different look to it. I think the idea was that in the case where the descender goes past an overhang, it'll go underneath of it. Okay, so then let's go back to the scenes and let's just friggin' try it. Let me save that. Alright, it did not work. I think that's because I half decorated though. Let me clear the level decorations. Decorate the level. Nope, I guess I'm wrong. Wall descender is enabled. It's not working though. Oh, I think the rule has to come after. The order might be important, so it may need to come after the floor edge rule, because it requires stop it. There we go. Alright, let's set this up in the prefab. Yeah, so the rules for decoration execute in the order that they're given. So I think the floor edge rule needs to do its thing first, and that will put the start of these descenders around the edges, and then the wall descender rule should follow up by filling in the descenders that match what was put there at the edge. So let me try that. I'm feeling lucky. There we go. There we go. Get rid of this so you can see it. Alright. And just to have one more type of decoration, I'll do the wall panel. Small panel, so let's do that. I hate this thing where I have to use the same interface to find both the source and destination object, and it ends up causing me to lose the first thing I'm trying to edit. So actually I gotta go prefabs, meta, editor. Then I need to not use this pane to get back to the wall panels. Okay. I'm kind of forgetting which ones of these were good and which ones were sort of a work in progress. All right, let's just make half of them this. I suspect that these are kind of fucked up, but not in a code way, but in a model way. I think that's where I left them. Because I was playing around trying to get them to look like something else. If they look kind of fucked up when they get decorated, I'm not going to use this session to correct them. I will. I want to be in a code mode. Okay, let me double check my editor. Oh, there's all this stuff too. Let me see, 25. Oh, this is not turned on. Okay, turn that on. Let's make these much less prevalent. Let's do 10%. Okay. Okay. So it's kind of like I said. Yes, I can get the wall panel decorations applied. No, they don't look that good and they've got issues. I don't feel like doing modeling in this session, so I'm not going to worry about that. The code works. The code's doing just fine. The results are kind of interesting. So let me continue with this whole thing, just to have a little bit of fun. Let's just make a whole bunch of stuff to get decorated. So if I take floor and I bring it out here, let me stick another thing over here just to make it look cool. Okay, so then I can take this guy here, the operation zone, that yellow urine colored boxed, and I can just enlarge it to cover everything that needs covering, or everything I intend to decorate. Nothing needs to be decorated. You have to want to decorate something. Decorating is not a requirement. It's just something you do so it looks good. And alright, then we do decorate the level. And it's fast. It's really fast. I like that part. Okay, now let's hide this thing so that I don't have to keep eyeballing it. Okay. So then it just added all this stuff. It just added it. And I even kind of like these dorky porthole things, even though they're not going to live on in that form. This is a more representative view of the game. You're just kind of looking at it from a top-down vantage point. I'll get the player hooked up to it at some point, but I am just not wanting to turn on all the code at one time and have to see it mostly work, but all kinds of little problems with it. I'd rather just sort of verify each thing as I bring it back into the new project and make sure it's in good working order. Okay, so the decoration stuff is done. I had given myself a session mission to just finish it all in the session, but I'm done with it early because the code worked. The old code worked. And why wouldn't it? It really should be more of a surprise when it doesn't work, because I did spend a lot of time getting this stuff to work correctly. The new twist to it is that I replaced this other kind of explicitly defined bounding box with one that's automatically generated. So this yellow box that you see here, which only shows in the editor, it grows and shrinks to include all the interactive, all the objects which the player can interact with. So if I move this out over here, the bounding box grows with it. Before I used to have to manually pull this box around, and now it just automatically stretches to fit a bounds around all of the objects in the interactive area. Background objects like this are just kind of ignored. Well, they're not ignored, they're filtered out. Okay, so there's that. And here's another thing with decorations. They're not like attached to the game object in the hierarchy. So if I go like this, all the decorations just kind of stay there. They're in a separate little directory called decorations. Okay, I think I know what I want to do next. I think I know what I want to do. There's this other tool here called Organize Scene. And it will just go and look at all of the objects in the scene and put them in the directory that they belong to. So if you get modeling, you get kind of hot and heavy with the modeling, and just start creating game objects all over the place. In Pro Builder, it's very easy to just kind of go nuts and just throw a lot of new game objects there. But then they get put in weird places, and what the organized scene will do is kind of put everything in a similar place, or a consistent place. So if I had a bunch of stuff that was, a bunch of game objects that were not underneath level, but were clearly meant to go there, it would copy them there. So I may have to do some design work, because I'm not sure the organization that this thing uses will be the same as what I want. Let me save and git commit. Oh no, I'm a tiny bit tired. It's a long day. It's a long, long day. Where is that? Where is that? Editor. Scene organization, that's it. Okay. So this is what I originally said I wanted to do. I don't know if this is the same hierarchy I want. So I'll just create a new one. In fact, I'm certain it's not. So booter. Okay, what does booter have in it? Audio point pool. Goes here. Screen fader. It actually isn't bad. Don't need the depth scan zone. So, great. The way I made this, I think I remember it right. It'll not populate everything for you, not these directories, but it'll complain if you don't got it right. So booter is a prefab. Main editor. Okay, So let me just build all that. Let me see what happens when I run this. It should complain at me. Yeah. So it's going to be main, spatial, level areas. I think I should set up that prefab. Zone waypoint. Subtitles I do want to end up inside of Booter. Just kind of slowly slowly kind of putting these things where they need to go as I figure it out. So let me see, cameras. That had some stuff. Okay, old project. Cameras. It's such a cool texture. Oh, there's a cloud box over here. Okay. So the background contains the cloud box. Got it. Okay. Decorations and lighting. Spatial. stages. What else? Editor. What? I'm kind of wondering why I have a star next to this. Okay. Okay, I'm thinking about my organization here a little bit. So let me say what each of these things does. I don't know why I've got the player cam. It's a separate object from the player. Oh yeah, I do. I do. It's just, it's easier to drag the camera around during development to test out views if it's not directly attached to the player. And there may be even more reasons than that. Okay. Create a new screen. New scene for a level. Drag all top level prefabs into scene. And there's an irritating thing where, because some of the prefabs have dynamic instantiation of children in them, that I have to unpack them and okay. So I've got probably too many prefabs here. Take a look at level. Is level good? Level's good. Yeah, okay. So some of the prefabs aren't used any other place. Why'd you disappear? Okay, you didn't. Okay, cool. Like sound effect map is only used inside of main. If I just come in here and just unpack. Do I want to unpack this though? Okay, I know why I would want to keep that, because there's going to be more than one. It's going to be more than one theme, and I'll use different prefabs for different themes, but I'll want the same game object to be present in the hierarchy if it's a different theme. So this is main for purity. Yes, I do want to keep some of those prefabs there. So editor, let's rename this to be editor for purity. Okay. Oops. Oops. Create folder. Guess there aren't any editor children, so let's just rename that. Say main children. I just want it to be really friggin' obvious to me, so I don't have to think hard about this. So let's put scene organization. Let's put all this stuff in there. Okay, let's see how I'm doing. Yes. So it's booter, main, editor, level. Background, player cam. That's it. Just can yank all those things into the top level. And that should be fine. Okay, let me try saving that. And I think I'll move the player over there. Let me go. Player. Oh, the trails is working. Yay. Okay. So let's put her there. Player cam. Missing scripts. All right. This background. It's so giant. Okay. So now hierarchy is verified. First I say move everything that's like a hand stage to the hand stages path. But I don't have any hand stages. That's fine. Now let's move all the lights to the lighting path. Ooh. Oh, I can't check that yet. Do I have any level sectors? Should be none. Okay. Okay, and this is the very valuable one. Then I find all the game objects in the scene, essentially. Well, not even essentially, exactly. Okay, if it's not active in the hierarchy, I skip it. If it's not directly under the root, it means it's been moved to someplace else. So if it's not under the root or under the level path, don't mess with it. Okay, so whatever that was, it was already in one of those two places. Where does this go? Clouds. So all these clouds, they'll be under the background directory. You can skip those. Clouds, clouds, clouds. Okay. Okay, so now we've got our first game object that has gotten this far. So, which one is it? Player cam. Player. Oh, okay, if it matches any of these, don't move it. So player and player cam matched. This one. That's gonna match. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next thing. Okay, what's one? This would be one of the decorations. So here we say, ah. I got fucking paged at work. Hold on. and open my laptop to see if it's something I can ignore. My work laptop I'm pulling open. Okay, I gotta go deal with this. Got to deal with it. So I'm gonna stop the stream so I can go deal with the work little crisis thing that came up. See y'all in a bit. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna finish this task off session. So that's it for that. Stopping the stream, stopping it now.